It's Thursday, January 7. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. Jamaica has long been known for having a large percentage of churches. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is calling on the church to join in the fight against crime. He was speaking at the Heal the Family, Heal the Nation gathering in St. Catherine on Wednesday.
So our plan to secure Jamaica is comprehensive. It deals with the hardware, it deals with the software, and now we are moving to deal with the hardware. And the hardware is not about the budget that we spend. Yes, we can make policies, but we need partners. And why I've decided to use this platform is that the best partner in all of this is, yes, you have said it, Jesus Christ and his institutions on earth, the church.
Mr. Holness says the church's capacity for counseling and outreach must be utilized to tackle the culture of violence that has developed in the country.
I need you to reach beyond the walls of your church and the numbers of your congregation to those men, especially those young boys who believe that the only solution to conflict is violence.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding says that despite the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, it has also presented opportunities.
There have also been some benefits, as the reduction of social activities has meant more time spent with family and more time to contemplate and reflect on the things that matter most in life. Most importantly, it has been a time to strengthen our faith as Christians and to get closer to God.
Mr. Golding was speaking at the National Day of Prayer, Heal the Family, Heal the Nation event. COVID-19 cases persist on the island. Here are the latest figures from the Health and Wellness Ministry.
Also, over the past 24 hours, 38 new COVID-19 cases were reported, pushing the overall case count to 13,368. There are now 1,649 active cases. No deaths were reported over the period. That total remains at 306. In the parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded the highest number with 16 cases. Clarendon has 5 cases. There were 4 cases in both Manchester and St. Catherine. St. Elizabeth and St. Mary both recorded 3 cases. St. Anne has 2 cases, and there is 1 in St. James. The other parishes had no cases. 71 recoveries were reported, pushing that total to 11,253. 91 persons are hospitalized, 8 are moderate, and 8 are in critical condition. Melvin Pennant, PBCJ News.
Jamaica's first virtual Maroon festival was held in Akampong on January 6. The festival was held under the theme Celebrating the Power of Our Heritage. The cultural celebration, which was held virtually in accordance with COVID-19 protocols, commemorated the 283rd anniversary of the signing of the peace treaty between the Maroons and the British. The festival marks the victory of the First Maroon War against the British, in which they fought for their freedom, led by the Maroon leader, Cudger. Highlights of the activities included a march by the Maroons to the Kinder or One Family Tree to renew their traditional rights and to honor their ancestors. The tree is said to be sacred and symbolic of family unity. There they prepared unsalted pork and ritually made their way to the Peace Cave, the site where the treaty was signed. The day ended with a civic ceremony.
This annual event has ensured that we do not forget the enduring contribution of Captain Kojo and his warriors to our freedom today. Indeed, generations have attended this event and been gifted with knowledge, pride, and appreciation of their glorious heritage and culture. We beam with pride, ladies and gentlemen, at their resilience and resistance, and commit to the sustainable prosperity of people of African descent.
Proven Investments has acquired Barbados-based company Roberts Manufacturing. Proven's CEO Christopher Williams made the announcement on Tuesday.
This move by Proven is a critical move in our strategic evolution. We have, from the outset over a 10-year period, seen ourselves as private equity players in financial services space, the real sector, and in real estate. This move puts us stronger in the real sector private equity space and gives us the opportunity to diversify our portfolio.
Roberts is a leading manufacturer of animal nutrition, edible fats, and oils in Barbados, supplying diversified consumer goods to markets in the Caribbean, Central America, and the United States of America. Completion of the acquisition is subject to regulatory approval. Motorists can expect to see an increase in gas prices, while diesel users will pay less at the pumps.
According to the latest ex-refinery costs from Petrojam, motorists should see an increase at the pumps in the prices of gasoline and a decrease in the price of diesel, effective Thursday, January 7. Following an increase of $1.64 each, 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $112.05 and $114.88 per liter, respectively. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $113.11 per liter, following a decrease of $1.18, while ultra-low sulfur diesel is down by 20 cents and will be sold for $116.22 per liter. Kerosene increased in price by 53 cents and will be sold for $88.85 per liter. After an increase of $1.72, propane liquid petroleum will be sold for $50.34 per liter, and butane liquid petroleum will be sold for $53.51 per liter after a decrease of 51 cents. Expect price increases as marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup to these prices. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 1,296 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 82 stocks, of which 31 advanced, 40 declined, and 11 traded firm. The Junior Market Index advanced by 6 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica, 1834 Investments Limited, and Access Financial Services. Stocks declined for Barita Investments Limited, Berger Paints Jamaica, and Caribbean Cement Company. Trading firm were AMG Packaging and Paper Company, Derrimon Trading Company, and Epley Limited. Derrimon Trading Company Limited was the volume leader with 2.3 million units, followed by QWI Investments Limited with 2.1 million units and Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 1.3 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Wednesday, January 6, ended trading at $143.45. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $114.19. The pound sterling traded for $194.83, and the euro ended trading at $176.36. Oil prices hit their highest since late February on Thursday after a fall in U.S. stockpiles added further support following the unilateral decision by Saudi Arabia to cut output. Wednesday's storming of the U.S. Capitol by President Donald Trump's supporters appeared to have little impact, while a slight rise in global equities suggested investors believed President-elect Joe Biden would be empowered to spend more freely. Brent crude futures rose 18 cents to $54.48 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 33 cents to $50.96 a barrel. And that does it for this edition of the Business Report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
At any time of the year, whether with family, friends, as a couple, or by yourself, the City View Hotel in Kingston offers you an amazing Jamaican breakfast in a beautiful setting. That's where our culinary trail took us at the start of the new year.
This was built as a dream home, my wife and myself. And we had planned, we started building it in our 30s. It was completed when we were about 41, completed. And the plan was to sell it about the age we are now. Because we don't want a big house when we, get old. The house, the property was our major asset. We didn't want to sell it. So we conceptualized a business from it. And at the time we said, well, Jamaicans overseas will always want to come home. So we conceptualized a kind of a home away from home, target market, Jamaicans overseas, and naturally, for want of a better word, the local market would be also. So happy to say that is now working. That is now working. Other is weddings. I remember when I just came home, I used to go down to Manchester, where I'm from, almost every Sunday. And driving on Mandela Highway, there used to be a cluster of bougainvilleas. And persons used to go there taking pictures after weddings. So the idea came to me driving one Sunday. I said, a venue for wedding at City View. In fact, it wasn't known as City View at the time. And then I said, Jamaican food is renowned globally. Renowned globally. So I said, a Jamaican restaurant with a difference. Turn Bob Marley into jazz, so to speak. Create something from what we have. Yeah? And I said, we have some of the finest entertainers in the world and the influence we have musically in the world. So I said, a venue for wedding, a home away from home for persons, a restaurant with Jamaican cuisine, creating from what we have, and entertainment, live entertainment. I must say this without any apology. Without my wife, this could never have happened. Never have happened. In every negative, there's a positive. And I'm seeing all the positive in this COVID. City View Hotel is not a venue that persons can just drive off the street and go and sit in a car park and whatever. Or else it'll be full out of people every day. You only come to City View Hotel if you're doing business. So you can't just drive. So it's a private, it's secluded, In the daytime, you come to City View Hotel, you feel a sense of tranquility. And it's a fact. All right? The first time that I personally ever experienced ambiance is when we had the first event here at City View Hotel. The ambiance, there's an ambiance. So these are facts. If you want action and whatever, it's not City View. It's a romantic, secluded venue. City View is ready. We have the staff, We have the venue. We have all the amenities.
In regional news, while the Pfizer vaccine has been approved for the Caribbean region, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Health says more technical information is needed before making final arrangements. Speaking at a virtual media conference on Wednesday, the minister said a request for additional information was made to the WHO's COVAX vaccination program. Mahalia Joseph Wharton has more in this report.
Minister of Health Terence Yalsing said in the Chief Medical Officer's meeting with a representative from the WHO's COVAX facility, information was also requested about the other vaccines, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Sanofi.
Once the Pfizer vaccine passes all the regulatory approvals via CARPHA, the Technical Advisory Group, so the Caribbean, the local Technical Advisory Group, the Pfizer vaccine can be possibly the first one to be used in Trinidad and Tobago.
WHO PAHO country representative Dr. Erica Wheeler said the Pfizer vaccine would be available for emergency use listing.
So when WHO speaks about an emergency use listing, it means that a risk-benefit assessment has been made of things like the quality, the safety, and the efficacy data for the use of these vaccines, and something called a rolling review of the data provided by the manufacturers is used. And why we call it a rolling review? Because traditionally we would wait until all of the possible information is available.
She said PAHO has been working with the ministry to provide technical cooperation in preparation for the vaccine.
And we have been looking at the existing immunization strategies. We know it's not the first time, as we keep saying. Look at the H1N1. This is an annual vaccine program that is given not just to health workers, but also to a similar category of persons, those over 65 years in the population.
Dr. Wheeler and Acting Principal Medical Officer Dr. Mariam Abdul Richards also dispelled rumors about the vaccine. They both assured that the vaccine doesn't have a microchip and it doesn't alter one's DNA. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
Schools in St. Lucia are scheduled to resume face-to-face classes on Monday, January 11. Officials are looking at whole and alternate day approaches, complemented by online and virtual learning platforms. The Education and Health Ministries provided information on what parents can expect next week.
The plans for the opening of the second term of the 2020-2021 academic school year have been finalized. Students will indeed head back to the school buildings next week, Monday, January 11th, 2021. Teachers reported to the physical plants 1 week ahead of students on Monday, January 4th, 2021. Schools were forced to close their doors in October 2020 after briefly reopening due to an increase in COVID-19 cases. Education Ministry has been in constant dialogue with stakeholders on the way forward for face-to-face interaction. Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer revealed that some schools will continue with the whole school route while others will take the alternative day approach.
We were very happy to note that the general public is very much aware that the students return on the 11th. I think every child, every parent can answer that question, so we've done our job well in that regard. We have had all schools who were on a whole school approach as of September, they're returning to a whole school approach. We do have 34 schools that will be still on the alternate day approach because of the numbers that they have as part of the phased reopening of school.
Dr. Gail Rigobert expressed confidence in welcoming students safely back into the physical school buildings amid the COVID-19 environment.
I must begin by acknowledging the extraordinary efforts of the team at the Ministry of Education, along with colleagues from the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders, agencies, and partners. Thanks to your unwavering commitment and hard work, we are confident that we are prepared to welcome students and teachers back into schools for face-to-face engagement.
Chief Environmental Health Officer Parker Ragananan encourages the wearing of both face shields and masks in schools. He also urges teachers to appoint times for safe mask breaks for students.
We continue to advocate not just for the wearing of face mask, but in the school environment, there may be need to wear the face shield as well, because we recognize that the environment may not always lend itself appropriate to just face mask, but face shields can be worn. And we encourage teachers on a classroom basis to be able to determine appropriate times where there can be a break from wearing a face mask if there is need for that. And therefore we call it the mask breaks. And that has to be worked out at the classroom levels.
Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer says the reopening of school plans was guided by the education sector continuity plan in a COVID-19 environment. She adds that the WHO, UNICEF, and the OECS are providing support to St. Lucia's efforts to reintegrate students into the classrooms. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
In sports, the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, JADCO, has developed several innovative measures to share its anti-doping messages to stakeholders. The entity has become digitally smart and is using the Zoom platform to conduct educational workshops. On Wednesday, January 6, they handed out tablets to schools, with the most participants attending the virtual workshops.
Every child deserves the right to a good education, and no child should be left behind due to the lack of resources. Therefore, we are happy to provide this level of support to help ease the burden for some parents and schools during the pandemic. To the schools who will be rewarded today, please take care of the tablets and familiarize yourselves with the information on anti-doping. We encourage you to continue to support the JADCO workshops, whether they are held virtually or face-to-face. Without your effort, we'll be unable to keep sport clean and to protect brand Jamaica.
For Region 1, 104 students and support personnel from 14 schools across Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, and St. Thomas participated in the workshop. And so today, I'm pleased to congratulate Guyshill High on winning the grand prize of the JADCO branded Samsung Galaxy tablets. And you are winning the prize for having achieved greatest participation from that region.
Due to the pandemic, the workshops were not held face-to-face, as in previous years. Therefore, we did not require the usual provision for accommodation, food, and drink with this. The Commission was able to purchase a total of 170 tablets from the budget that is allocated to the annual junior athletes anti-doping workshops.
The donation of tablets is part of a broader initiative that JADCO is now executing in collaboration, as the chairman said earlier, with the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information as part of the public education and awareness thrust of the Commission. And so JADCO will be introducing anti-doping as part of the primary school curriculum. And today, it starts with 2 primary schools, Eltham Park Primary and Ensom City Primary. Recognizing that some students do not readily have access to the internet, a PDF viewer application called Sidebooks has been installed on the tablets. The JADCO brochures have been uploaded to this application and can be accessed without the internet. Additionally, the PDF viewer will give JADCO the ability to continuously update the information on the tablets through cloud storage, and all that is required of student athletes is to download the updated information from the cloud.
Sporting goods manufacturer PUMA has put their money where their mouth is. On Wednesday, Mona High and Marti Technical High Schools were presented with athletic gear by Gillette Campbell, manager for Sports Marketing Central for PUMA in Jamaica. The gear will help both schools with their preparation for the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association ISA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships set to take place in March. Ms. Campbell says there are plans to assist other schools. Wolmer's Boys and Girls, Calabar High, Jamaica College, and Kingston College are just some of the schools that have been assisted by PUMA in the past. And that's our package for today. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.